very universal aircraft made back in the 40s. But as you can notice here, we look like a B-17, and that's because that is what a DC-6 is. Once they made that variant for the war efforts, it then was called a B-17, B for bomber. So here we are in the cockpit. It is a nasty day in Florida, so let's play God, and let's turn off live weather, and put in a few clouds, just to make it not seem so empty in the skies. So when I first want to start this beautiful beast up, first thing I always do is go down to my handlebar here and release it, making all of my throttles work in sync together. I will go ahead and turn on my fuel switches here, and I like to go ahead and throw that lock in. So we'll go ahead and turn all these on with 2 clicks apiece. There we go, we've got that done. I'll go ahead and set my altimeter since I got it on my mind. Since I changed it back to live weather, it's going to be 29.92. Excuse me, preset weather, it's going to be 29.92. Now that I've got this, we can go ahead and turn on our battery, and then we will go to ground power. While we're up here, we'll go ahead and turn on all the generators for each engine, and moving on up on the headboard, we will turn on the oil pumps, and moving to the left, we will turn on the water pumps. While we got this all on our side right here, I'm going to go ahead and turn on the position lights to steady and turn on the beacon light. And the crow flaps, we're going to move all the way open since we're just going to be sitting here for a moment. Let's turn all our inverters on, which is going to be 3 of them. Now that we've done all that, we are going to be ready to actually start the engines. This is done one at a time, and it is starting with engine number 3. Turn the magnetos on to both for every engine each time. Let's go to engine selector number 3, and I'm going to press start. Well, let's turn on our fuel pump first. Right there we go. And he's going to call out some numbers.
3.
When we hear 9, which is the third
6.
one, we will hit boost.
9.
And then next 12,
12.
hit prime. And if we've not messed anything up, engine number 3 should be starting. Look at that. All those will flip back up here in a moment. While we're waiting for those to flip back up, we can go ahead and turn magnetos on for engine number 4. Select engine number 4. Turn this fuel pump down to low and turn 4 up to high. And run through that same procedure.
3. 6. 9. 12.
And now engine number 4 should work. Now we're going to engine number 1.
Clear.
Magnetos on. Engine selector for number 1. Fuel pump low for 4. And high for 1. And since we got 2 engines started, we can go ahead and turn over to plane power instead of ground power. Everything's ready for engine number 1 to start, so here we go. The engine 1 and 2 takes a tad longer for him to call the numbers out. Have to be just slightly more patient.
6.
And not press it too soon.
9. 12.
Here we go, engine 1. Good so far. Now, finally, the last engine, number 2. Exact same steps. By this point, you should have this part down pat, hopefully. If not, it's no big deal. We're all looking good again here.
3, 6, 9, 12.
Did that slightly early, but that's okay. It should still work just fine. There we go. 4 healthy engines. Beautiful sight to see. Now that it's started, we'll turn all this pump back. Well, I zoomed too far. Back, and I did it again. Down to low. If you are on a very short runway, right here in the bottom right on the overhead panel is superchargers. And that's what they do. They supercharge the engine. Imagine that. But since we're at Orlando International right now, there is definitely no need to use them because they do cause your engines to run hotter, which in the long run could cause too much stress in the engines, and therefore you will fall out of the sky like a brick. Now that we have our engines running, some of the most main instruments you want to keep an eye on here is your oil temp. You never want that to be in the yellow for longer than 20 seconds. If you do, you risk the engines dying on you, which is what can happen if you run in full throttle for too long, or too high of throttle for too long, or run with superchargers on at a high enough throttle for too long. So we're about ready to taxi. I'll go ahead and extend my landing lights here, and I will turn them on. Normally, Orlando International is a controlled airspace, an airport, ATC, but because it's not the best at Microsoft Flight right now, we're going to treat it like the Wild West. And just go. As of right now, though, they are taking off on northern departure. So your runway is 17, 18, right now. So we are very good. I'm going to do this park the brake. Give it a little throttle, and we're going to turn around here and taxi on our way to runway 17 left. Normal taxi speed at an airport is 30 knots. During a turn, it's preferably to go 10. However, in these older planes, it can be harder to tell what your actual speed is, because you cannot go off your airspeed indicator, because if you are facing a wind of any type, it's going to make it seem like you're going faster than you really are. But since we do have the Garmin 430 miraculously installed in this, you can always look at it for your ground speed. Now that we're cruising on our way down this taxiway here, I'm going to go ahead and open up my crowd flaps for takeoff. I'm also going to see if the flaps work. So I can in the work until about halfway through my flight. So normally you want to go down 2 notches. I've yet to figure out why my flaps will not extend in the beginning, but usually once I'm ready to land, they work. It must be something I'm doing wrong. It used to work, but it don't no more, so I don't know. But it's okay. We've got plenty enough runway where we do not have to worry about that. Alright, currently on taxiway Alpha, getting ready to turn on Bravo 1 here at Orlando. And it's going to be runway 17 left. It will be in front of us. And there it goes. Looks like an AI aircraft doing a go around for a missed approach. Definitely 36 left. Northern runways are going to be that. Southern here is going to be 17, 18. Looks like we're good. Normally I would ask for a wait until they're trying permission to take off, but it's the Wild West today. We just do whatever we want. So we're going to go ahead and taxi on our way out here. There's a couple aircraft coming in, but I'll be able to easily view them out. As soon as I feel comfortable and lined up, I'm going to slowly increase throttle. And we'll just get an external view and watch this beautiful beast take off. If you notice, my throttle's currently not quite in the yellow. Then you know I'm going to overheat them. I've got plenty of runway here. Follow the heading of the runway until we're past it. That is a rule, so to speak. They prefer that. So otherwise, don't turn back. See? And we are past it. And since I'm on runway left, I'm going to do a left bank rather than go into a opposing takeoff traffic from any of the other 3 runways here. Smooth left bank here. It's going to look gauges here. Well, Tampa is. Well, that sun's not working. It was literally working yesterday. Otherwise, there's plenty of time. But you'd always want to make sure it's not the yellow at this point, which it should be. As long as you stay out of the yellow, the throttle. Spirit, one is Delta, and the far left one is a real player.